threats and stuff. It was just perceiving some kind of threat because the guy went crazy supposedly, or somebody did. And then the and then I saw something in my mind's eye. It wasn't a perfect image or anything, but it was a representation of him. I don't want to say my mind's eye. I think I saw a slight hallucination, and then there was that feeling, and so it was. I thought it was him. It was him being represented. I don't know if it was him doing it or what he was gonna do, but either way, then there was another guy, and I was starting to guess at all this stuff. There was somebody else who was saying, and I saw an old friend of mine, and he punched a wall, and like he wanted to do something about it. But he's hit women before, so and it was numb to it instantly. So I knew his intentions was to fuck something up. His intentions was to do something bad, but that was all, and and so there was them, and they go, he wants actions and improvements. And then I heard girls say, because we love you this much, Tanner, and there were like young women, and he goes, are these messages all for you? And so I think what they were trying to say was that they were letting him know that there was women out there for him, and he didn't need to do that. It's crazy. And then it wasn't long after that she did end up showing up. But see, I posted a message where going, if you love me, just stay away from me. And somebody deleted it, which is very, if she was being abused, then that would be a lot of like real clingy behavior, and she just needed me at that point, and she maybe is just going through just some emotional problems or something. But either way, then she ended up showing up, and there was at one point that they said, orgies, Tanner, that's all we see. Orgies, Tanner, that's all we see. And productivity, Tanner, that's all we see. I don't know exactly what that meant, but they said that. And then they said, there was at one point that I was gonna say, I've been with women harder than her or something, and the only reason I said that was just because of a different situation that had to do with what they had put in my head, because then I was starting to get into attachment, and when you're attached, then you feel threatened, and when you feel threatened, then you lash out, and it goes all out to egocentrism and an egocentric desire to furnish yourself with feelings of well-being at the cost of other people, and stuff like that. I've read about this kind of stuff, and trying to keep up with it all, but that's what'll end up happening. But the feelings of even the feeling of being threatened, and somebody wants to take this away from me, or the fixation on something, and you fixate on it, and then your mind will start coming up with all these reasons why something's gonna fuck it up, or different people want to fuck you out of that, and then you stick and you try to fight those thoughts away, and then you just go deeper into it, and that's because of just obsessive desire. But it's easy to stay away from it if you know what it is, and you can avoid it. You don't need an alien tempting you with true love, little human, and you're the woman of your dreams, and you're married, and all this other stuff, which actually had something to do with there was a situation where, I don't want to say a situation, but I was a situation, I guess, but but there was a lot of paranoia and stress, you know what I mean, and quarantine because of coronavirus, and so I was sending out this email, and I was like, I wouldn't be messing with her if she was married, and then I was like, then I was picturing the scenario where he was gonna, okay, then I'm gonna make you marry me tonight, and then she was like, Tanner, raise your hand before they get away with it, and I was like, okay, I did it, and I was sending an email, I was like, I did it, you know what I mean? It's just going through the motions, and of what I believe was maybe happening or thought or fucked in the head thinking. But you know the so the marriage thing, and maybe would have, maybe there was truth in that. Maybe they did do that, and maybe he was hitting her, and maybe they had to be baited out of, and maybe God only knows what's going on in Hollywood. Fucking Lil Xan. Have you seen videos of Lil Xan where he's talking about people are like taking his phone away from him, and he ain't allowed to drive his own car, and then you see videos where they're like, he tries to say something like, "Give me that," and they take the phone away from him, and there's video filming it. I don't know what exactly is going on in Hollywood. I think that a lot of weird stuff probably happens to women in Hollywood, and I don't believe that that's going on, but I believe that they can get to a woman, and there was, but her probably not as much, you know what I mean? But like somebody like Lena Headey, to make her start flirting with me like that, who is her parents? Her dad was a cop, you know what I mean? And then I think she probably just worked really hard and was attractive or something, pretty attractive, and wound up, just wound up being successful. So that's maybe somebody a little bit easier to control, but with somebody like her, I don't think they were doing anything to her. She maybe her boyfriend was slapping her around a little bit. I shouldn't be laughing at this. Anyways, so oh shit, it's not funny. I've just been up too long, man. Just been up for way too long. I swear to God. Anyways, all I'm trying to say. Just the fucked up shit that goes on out there, man. I'm just going nuts. It's just getting to be that late at night. Anyways, so, all I'm trying to say is just with, everything that's been going on, there and these weren't just like voices in my head, you know what I mean? These weren't. There was a big UFO that came over the house one night, and it was like, man, it was huge. You know what I mean? Like if you held a dime in your arm, and it would be about that big, and it went across the sky, and it left a white streak behind it, and then the streak just went and from the tail end, and so it was huge, and one night, like I said, I was sending out emails talking about this other girl, and dated hard girl than her or whatever. And I stopped to think about it, and all of a sudden I heard this voice. I'm talking like a voice, like as if like this is my ear right here, and a voice went right up to my ear, and like it's like, lower yourself to her, Tanner. Are those bedroom eyes? Is that him flying in the air? And so, because there was this thing where she went on a late night talk show, and then I could just tell by the way she was looking into the camera that there was somebody out there that she was thinking about. You know what I mean? It wasn't somebody that she was around very often, because it's like you don't go on camera and look back at your husband through a camera like that. You just go home and look at him like that. But the thing is that I was in jail, and see, they had just brought me a television, and I feared it had something to do with her being on television at the exact same time that I got my television. I feared it had something to do with that. Anyways. So, but either ways, that was an assertion that I made, okay, and I may have been wrong, but this is what the aliens had to say about it. Anyways, and this is another thing probably about intolerability, and the intolerability of a person, and how the aliens and Satan will come in and try to splinter the intolerable and make you not sound crazy when you're not, and yeah, or when you think something's going on and they're looking at you and they're going, yeah, Tanner, you know what? That is actually going on. But only thing is, most people wouldn't have said nothing, or, and now you've kind of made yourself look stupid, which actually you're not. But people are going to say that, so we're going to do this, you know. And so, but either way, that was the whole thing with, why are they, why is Tanner sticking around after, he's said that he's getting over it, because he said if he had a feeling in front of a phone, that's being obsessed, you know what I mean? But it wasn't. And that's another thing too, when you work at that, I think that's the benefit, when you work at not being obsessed and attached to somebody in your thinking, and you can be open and receptive to love, you know what I mean, in whatever form that it might come to you, you know what I mean, even if it comes to you in a really strange way, or a way that somebody might say that's not, that's not a good way to receive love, you know what I mean, because that means that's a bad person, you know what I mean, when you can say, but in the grand scheme of things, none of us are bad, and really, people are, they wind up wherever they wind up because of always things that are outside their control. You know what I mean? Even when you make a decision and you think that it was because of you, it's not. It's because somebody did something to you at some point that made you think about things in a different way, that made you make that decision. You know what I mean? And so, when I think that's the benefit of it, you know what I mean? I just think there's a lot of benefits of it. You know what I mean? You can be open to love when you're not obsessive, but when you are obsessive, then even when love is available to you, then you're not open to it. You know what I mean? So you can't receive it. You know what I mean? And that's been, that's a real huge benefit of knowing things. You know what I mean? And probably even a big huge benefit of having a problem with obsession in my life. You know what I mean? Because then when I found information that was able to help me with it, then I really resolved it to the point where then I would not have that problem anymore, and that was to the point where, then I'm not going to have the same kind of problem as a lot of other people just have, you know what I mean, to deal with, because they don't, I'm probably rambling by now. So, but either way, whatever. So, I just don't want to underestimate the value of what I'm trying to say here about, what can go into your head, But that's probably a personal thing, maybe more than what other people are experiencing. Anyway, so there was some DMT hallucinations.